I was about to propose to my high school sweetheart, then I found out she was cheating. So, yeah. That title feels like something out of a bad Netflix original, but welcome to my personal hell. I 27M have been with my girlfriend 27F since we were 16. 16. Do you know what that means? It means my entire adult life has basically been one long previously on her show recap. We went to prom together, we went to college together, we even survived living in a showbox apartment where the oven didn't work, and the neighbors fought so loudly I learned more about custody battles than any lawyer ever should. She's been my person for over a decade. I've been calling her my future wife since junior year of high school. And up until, about 5 minutes ago, I actually thought she would be. I had a whole proposal planned. I'm talking Pinterest board level planning. I bought the ring 2 months ago. I asked her mom for blessing because apparently I'm that guy. I even booked us a trip to Charleston because she's obsessed with old houses and cobblestones and Instagramming coffee she never drinks. I was literally about to do the thing. Drop down on one knee, ugly cry. Embarrass myself in public. Post it on Facebook with some corny caption like she said yes and make all the middle-aged ants go wild in the comment section. But nope. Instead, I get blindsided with the kind of plot twist even M. Night Shyamalan would call a bit much. Here's how it went down. For weeks, she'd been weird. Not obvious I'm cheating weird. More like why are you suddenly into yoga pants and leaving the house without me? Weird. She'd also started guarding her phone like it contained the nuclear codes. Now, I'm not the jealous type. Okay, fine, that's a lie. I am the jealous type. But I've always trusted her because she's my high school sweetheart. The girl who cried with me during Toy Story 3 and ate McNuggets in the backseat of my beat-up Honda Civic. She's not the type, except apparently she is. One night, she said she was working late. Spoiler, she works in social media marketing. Unless Instagram suddenly added a graveyard shift, I was already side-eyeing that excuse. So, being the stable and emotionally mature man that I am, I did the logical thing. I stalked her location on Find My iPhone. And wouldn't you know it, she wasn't at her office. She wasn't even at a Starbucks pretending to work. She was at some random apartment complex across town. And my dumbass brain tried to rationalize it. Oh, maybe she's visiting a coworker. Oh, maybe she's helping a friend. Oh, maybe she's rescuing puppies in distress. Nah, I drove there. Because obviously, if I'm gonna spiral, I might as well drive my ass into the eye of the hurricane. And that's when I saw it. Her car. Parked outside. Now, let me just say, I'm not a violent guy. I wasn't about to storm up there, kick the door down, and start WWE smashing whoever was inside. I just sat in my car, like some discount private investigator. My Spotify was on shuffle and I kid you not, Adele's Someone Like You came on. The universe has a sick sense of humor. After about 20 minutes, she walked out with him. Some tall dude in a Patagonia jacket who looked like he runs 5 kiloseconds for fun and has never once eaten gas station nachos at 2 a.m. They were laughing, holding hands, like the kind of cheesy rom-com hand-holding where you swing your arms together. And then she kissed him. Not a polite little peck. Not an oops, lips brushed by accident. No, this was a full-on, hands in his hair, I'm sure the neighbors could hear kind of kiss. Meanwhile, I'm in my Corolla across the street, gripping the steering wheel so hard I'm surprised the airbag didn't deploy. I wish I could tell you I did something badass in that moment. Like, I marched up, called her out, dropped the ring box at her feet, and walked away like a legend. Nope. I cried, like, actual ugly cry. Snot, hiccups, the whole 9 yards. Sitting alone in my car while my girlfriend of 11 years swapped spit with Mr. Patagonia. After about 15 minutes of this pathetic meltdown, I drove home, sat on my couch, stared at the ring box like it had personally offended me, then drank 3 White Claws and sent my best friend a text that just said, "She's cheating." He immediately faceted me like, "Bro, what?" And I explained everything between sobs and burps. He told me to break up with her immediately, block her, burn her stuff, post the ring on Craigslist with the caption lightly used, "Never worn, comes with betrayal." But here's the thing, I didn't. She came home later that night, all smiles, smelling faintly like men's cologne, the kind that comes in a bottle shaped like a bicep. She sat next to me, kissed my cheek, and asked if I wanted to watch The Office. And I didn't say anything. I just sat there, nodded. Pretended I wasn't currently living in the deleted scenes of 500 Days of Summer. Because, and this is the most pathetic part, I still love her. So now I'm here, posting this on our True of Michus, because apparently my coping mechanism is trauma dumping to internet strangers instead of, standing up for myself like a functioning adult. I can't even look at her the same way. Every time she texts, I wonder if it's him. Every time she says she's busy, I imagine Patagonia boy grinning like a jackass. And the ring, still sitting in my nightstand, burning a hole in my drawer and in my chest. I was supposed to propose. I was supposed to be planning our wedding right now, not trying to figure out how to tell my girlfriend of over a decade that I watched her make out with another man in a parking lot like some discount Lifetime movie. So yeah, that's my confession. I was about to propose to the love of my life. Instead, I found out she's been cheating, and I'm too much of a coward to confront her. TL, doctor, bought a ring, planned a proposal, caught my high school sweetheart cheating, and now I'm sitting on my couch writing a Reddit post instead of growing a backbone. So, first of all, thank you to everyone who commented on my last post. I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. I was honestly just screaming into the void, but apparently the void screams back, loudly. And with some very creative suggestions about where to stick the engagement ring. Some of y'all said to throw it in the ocean like Rose in Titanic. Others said to pawn it and use the money for therapy or tacos. One guy told me to mail it to Patagonia boy with a note that just said congrats, she's your problem now. If I had the spine, that would have been iconic. Anyway, I read every single comment, and it actually gave me enough of a push to do what I should have done in the first place, confront her. Now, I wish I could say I had some cool, cinematic plan. Like, maybe I'd casually drop the ring box on the table, watch her face go pale, then deliver some devastating line like, turns out forever isn't as long as you think. But no. Instead, I confronted her in possibly the most awkward, least badass way imaginable, over spaghetti. We were having dinner, just the two of us. I'd made pasta because apparently my toxic trait is cooking for people who betray me. She was twirling noodles round her fork, talking about some influencer drama on TikTok, when I just blurted it out. I know you're cheating on me, boom. No build up, no easing into it, just spaghetti and betrayal. She froze, fork midair, mouth half open. Then she laughed, like I'd just accused her of stealing a candy bar instead of swapping saliva with North Face's brand ambassador. What are you talking about? She said, doing that fake innocent voice she used to use on her parents when we'd sneak back past curfew. I said, I saw you. At his apartment. With him. That's when the color drained out of her face. You know that scene in Get Out where the mom sends the guy into the sunken place? Yeah, that was her expression. She put her fork down and said, it's not what you think, which, by the way, is the universal cheater's catchphrase. If they made a bingo card for infidelity, it's not what you think would be the free space in the middle. I asked, so, what exactly is it then? Because it looked like you were kissing him. Unless you were performing CPR, and judging by how into it you looked, he must have been choking on Nevermind. Side note, sarcasm is my only coping mechanism, apparently. She got defensive. Said his name. Let's call him Chris because of course his name is Chris. She said she and Chris had just gotten close and that she didn't mean for it to happen. Oh, good. That makes it fine then. My bad for overreacting to my girlfriend of 11 years just accidentally falling onto another man's lips. I asked her how long it had been going on. She wouldn't answer at first, but then she admitted it, 3 months. While I was ring shopping, while I was planning a future, while I was literally rehearsing proposal speeches in the shower like an idiot, she was sneaking around with Chris. At this point, I think something in me snapped, because instead of crying or yelling, I just started laughing, like borderline maniacal laughter, which only made her angrier. She yelled, "This isn't funny," and I said, "No, it's hilarious. You're telling me I've been saving up for a ring while you've been having a side quest with Mr. Patagonia. That's sitcom level writing right there." She said she was confused about our relationship, that we'd been together so long she didn't know what she wanted anymore, that maybe she was scared of marriage. Cool. Valid feelings. Totally normal to process them by tongue wrestling some dude named Chris. And then, because the universe loves to add insult to injury, my phone buzzed. It was my best friend, the one who'd facetimed me the night I caught her. I'd left my text open, and his message popped up on the screen where she could see it. Bro, dump her ass already. She's trash. She went off. Said I was airing our private business to other people. Said it was humiliating that my friends knew before she could explain herself. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Am I embarrassing you?" "My bad." Next time, I'll make sure your secret boyfriend signs an NDA before you shove your tongue down his throat. At that point, she started crying. And here's the kicker. I felt bad for her. Like, what is wrong with me? She cheats, lies, gaslights me over spaghetti, and somehow I'm apologizing because she's crying crocodile tears into her napkin. I couldn't do it anymore. I told her it was over, that I'd pack a bag and stay at my friend's for the night. And her response, "You can't just throw away 11 years like that. Oh, sweetheart. You already did." I grabbed my keys, walked out, and sat in my car. That's when the tears came. Full-on ugly cry again. Because apparently my body has decided I'm only allowed to cry in vehicles now. So yeah. That was the confrontation. Messy, awkward, spaghetti-fueled disaster. I'm crashing at my best friend's place right now. He's been feeding me pizza and beer like I'm some wounded animal. Meanwhile, she's been blowing up my phone with texts like, "We can work through this. It was a mistake. You're my soulmate. I swear, I'll block Chris." But here's the thing, I don't believe her. Not anymore. Once you see your partner holding hands with someone else, laughing like you don't even exist, there's no coming back from that. And yet, part of me still loves her. Still remembers the girl who danced with me at prom, who stayed up all night studying in our crappy apartment, who used to send me memes at 2 a.m. just to make me laugh. I hate that I love her. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Relationship dead. Proposal canceled. Heart shredded. I don't know what comes next. All I know is that my 11-year relationship just imploded over a plate of spaghetti, and somehow, that feels both tragic and stupidly fitting. So, apparently, when you break up with someone after 11 years, you don't just break up with them, you break up with their entire ecosystem, their family, their friends, their dog, yes, even the dog. And let me tell you, it's a shitshow. First, her parents. Remember how I said I asked her mom for blessing before proposing? Yeah. Her mom cried happy tears, hugged me, told me I was the best thing that ever happened to her daughter. Fast forward to weeks, same woman calls me and says I'm throwing away her daughter's future. I said, "Ma'am, your daughter threw it away when she threw herself at Patagonia Boy." She gasped like I just cursed in church and said, "That's not how it happened, apparently." My ex had already gotten ahead of the story. She told her family that I overreacted because I was paranoid and jealous. Oh, and she also said we were on a break. As in, she apparently pulled a full-on Ross Geller defense and tried to rebrand 3 months of cheating as just some space. Ma'am, if you need space, you don't fill it with another man's tongue. Then there were our friends. When you've been with someone since high school, your social circles fuse together like detangled headphones. We had mutual everything. Double dates, vacations, Friendsgivings. The whole deal. Now, it's like the Avengers Civil War. Half of them text me saying, "Bro, you deserve better. She screwed up." The other half are like, "Well, you guys have been together forever. Maybe you should work it out." Work it out. Work what out? Unless Chris is secretly her long-lost twin brother. Spoiler, he's not. There's nothing to work out, and let's talk about Chris for a second. Because, of course, I did some FBI-level social media stalking. The man is aggressively average. Like, if beige were a person. He posts pictures of hiking trails with captions like "nature equals therapy" and once tweeted "rise and grind." This is who she risked our entire relationship for. A man whose personality is 40% protein powder and 60% LinkedIn posts. It almost makes me more offended. Like, at least cheat up, you know? Brad Pitt, Harry Styles, hell, even the hot guy from the State Farm commercials. But Chris, really? Anyway, back to the chaos. After Spaghetti Gate, that's what my best friend is calling the confrontation. I blocked her for a bit. Needed space. But then she showed up at my friend's apartment. Yep. Just showed up. I opened the door, and there she was. Red eyes, messy hair, holding a showbox full of my stuff like some low-budget rom-com. She started crying the second she saw me. Said she couldn't lose me. Said Chris didn't mean anything. Said she'd end it with him if I just gave her another chance. I stood there, holding my own boxers in my hand, thinking, is this really my life right now? 11 years together, and it ends with me holding a pair of socks like they're divorce papers. I told her I couldn't do it. That once trust is gone, it's gone. She begged, literally begged, dropped to her knees in the hallway. Side note, neighbors definitely heard everything. I'm sure they loved the free drama. She said, "We can go to therapy." I said, "Yeah, but the therapist can't unkiss Chris." She said, "You don't understand. It was a mistake." I said, mistakes are forgetting your keys, not dating someone on the side for 3 months. Finally, my friend, bless him, stepped in. Told her she needed to leave. She glared at him like he was Satan, muttered something about me being brainwashed, and stormed off. The next day, I woke up to approximately 37 missed calls and a wall of text messages. The highlights: you're the love of my life, don't throw us away, he doesn't matter, you do. My mom says you're making a mistake, I'll block him, I swear, if you loved me, you'd forgive me. That last one hit me like a truck. If I loved her, I'd forgive her. Nah. If she loved me, she wouldn't have been locking lips with Mr. Patagonia in the first place. And then came the nuclear option, social media. She posted a picture of us, an old one. US at prom, all dressed up, me in a suit 2 sizes too big, her in this blue dress that made her look like Cinderella. Caption: sometimes we forget what really matters. Fighting for us, hashtag SOULMATES, hashtag 11 years strong, 11 years strong. Girl, you've been 11 years plus, Chris. My phone blew up. People tagging me, messaging me like, wait, are y'all back together? My aunt, the one who comments heart emojis on everything, even texted me congratulations. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there with pizza crust on my shirt, trying to explain to people that no, we are not 11 years strong, we are 11 years dead in a ditch. Her friends started subtweeting me. Stuff like, imagine throwing away a decade over one mistake. One mistake. Babe, if I accidentally tripped and fell onto someone's lips for 3 months, you wouldn't be calling it a mistake. You'd be calling the cops. The worst part, though, her little brother texted me. This kid, who I've literally known since he was 8, texted me saying, I can't believe you're abandoning her. I thought you were different. I cried. Like an actual loser. In my friend's bathroom. Because even her teenage brother thinks I'm the bad guy now. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Her family thinks I overreacted. Half our friends are Switzerland, half are delusional, and her social media campaign is painting me as the villain. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to eat pizza and not think about the fact that the ring is still sitting in my nightstand at home, mocking me. Part of me wants to chuck it at Chris's car. Another part of me wants to keep it just as a reminder of what not to tolerate ever again. Mostly, though, I just want to stop feeling like my entire identity got ripped in half. Because when you've been with someone since you were 16, a breakup doesn't just feel like losing them. It feels like losing yourself. So, remember how in my last post I said her family hates me and her friends are subtweeting me? Yeah, well, now the entire internet apparently knows about our breakup. Because my ex has decided to treat this like a PR campaign. It started small. A few Instagram stories with sad song lyrics. The classics: Adele, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo. She even posted that Miley Cyrus flower song, which is wild because she was the one buying herself flowers while also buying Chris hiking boots. But then she escalated. She made a Facebook post. A long, sappy, borderline novella about how relationships are hard and sometimes people lose their way, but true love always finds itself again. Tag me in it, too. Do you know what it's like to wake up, roll over, and see 47 notifications because your breakup just became a Facebook group project? Every boomer relative I have commented. My aunt posted love always wins. My cousin hit me with don't give up on each other. You're perfect together. Even my grandma left a prayer hands emoji. Meanwhile, my best friend just commented lol and got blocked by her immediately. The worst part, people started messaging me. Hey, saw her post. You two are so strong. You guys will get through this. Don't let anyone come between you. I knew you two were forever. Forever. Brother, I literally watched her make out with Chris in a parking lot. Forever expired 3 months ago. And speaking of Chris, oh, he knows. How? Because apparently my ex told him I found out, but that we were working through it. So, Chris actually had the nerve to message me on Instagram. Said he didn't mean to cause problems and that he thought we were on a break. On a break. What is this, friends? Am I Ross now? Is Chris supposed to be my Mark from the copy shop? I replied with exactly one word, LMAO, then blocked him. Meanwhile, in real life, I'm trying to move on. I downloaded Tinder. Worst decision of my life. First girl I matched with? Turns out she went to high school with my ex. She opened with, so what happened with you two? Everyone's talking about it. I unmatched so fast my phone lagged. Second girl. She asked if I was the guy from Facebook. Third girl. Also knew Chris. It's like the entire dating pool has been contaminated by this breakup. And here's the kicker. My ex keeps showing up. At first, it was texts. Then calls. then showing up at my friend's apartment again. She's like a one-woman rom-com montage, except instead of holding up a boombox outside my window, she's just crying in my hallway at 11 p.m. Last time, she actually brought cookies, knocked on the door, shoved Tupperware in my face, and said, "I made your favorite. Lady, you can't cheat on me and then bribe me with snickerdoodles. That's not how this works." She sat on the steps, begged me to just talk, said she'd cut Chris off, said she'd prove it. She even offered to let me go through her phone. I told her I didn't want to. Not because I don't think I'd find anything, I absolutely would, but because I'm done playing detective in a relationship that should have been safe. But the hardest part, I still miss her. I hate it. I hate that after all the lies, all the betrayal, all the PR stunts on Facebook, there's still this stupid part of me that wants to text her, wants to believe she'll change, wants to believe that the girl I fell in love with at 16 is still in there somewhere. But then I remember, the girl I fell in love with at 16 wouldn't have done this in the first place. My best friend, shout out to him, he's basically my emotional support human, has been keeping me afloat. He's got me working out, gaming, binge watching trash TV instead of stalking my ex's socials. But then last night my mom called, and she hit me with, "Maybe you should forgive her. Relationships take work." I said, "Mom, she kissed another man." Mom goes, "Well, people make mistakes." I said, for 3 months, silence. The whole world feels divided. Half think I should take her back. Half think I should light her stuff on fire. And I'm stuck in the middle, wondering how the hell my life turned into a soap opera. Meanwhile, the ring, still sitting in my drawer at home. I can't look at it without wanting to yeet it into the sun. So yeah, that's where I'm at. My ex won't stop showing up. Facebook thinks we're still together, and my dating life is already cursed. At this point, the only thing keeping me sane is the fact that you strangers on Reddit actually get it. Because out here, everyone's got an opinion, and most of them are garbage. So, remember how I said in part 4 that my ex wouldn't stop showing up? Yeah, well, buckle up, because she's officially moved from sad ex territory into chaotic villain arc. It started with the ring. I'd been avoiding it for weeks, just sitting in my drawer like some cursed object from Lord of the Rings. Every time I opened that drawer, it was like it whispered, "Hey loser, remember how you planned a proposal and instead got dumped for Chris?" Finally, I decided to get rid of it. Not in a dramatic way, no yeeting it into the ocean, no smashing it with a hammer. I figured I'd just sell it, get some cash, and maybe put it toward therapy or at least more pizza. So I went to the jeweler, the same jeweler who'd sold it to me. Do you know how humiliating it is to hand over a ring and have the guy who sold it to you say, "Oh no, did she say no?" And then you have to be like, "No, she said yes," to another guy. He gave me this pity look, like I was a kid who just dropped his ice cream cone, and said they could only give me 50% back. I took the cash and left feeling like a pawn shop reject. Here's where it gets messy. Somehow, my ex found out I sold the ring. I don't know how. Maybe she stalked my emails. Maybe the jeweler's wife is friends with her mom. Either way, 2 days later she showed up at my job. My job. I work in IT. Not exactly the place for grand romantic gestures. But she waltzed into the lobby with tears streaming down her face, yelling, "How could you sell our ring?" Our receptionist looked like she wanted to crawl under her desk. My boss popped his head out like, "Everything okay?" And I just stood there, frozen, holding a USB cable like it was a weapon. She kept going loud dramatic. Said I'd given up on us. Said the ring meant something. Lady, it meant something before you started swapping spit with Chris. Now it means jack shit. I told her to leave. Security ended up escorting her out. She screamed, "This isn't over," like she was auditioning for a telenovela. That night, my phone blew up again. This time from her dad. Her dad, who I've known since high school, who used to grill me burgers and call me son. Now yelling at me over the phone that I'd broken her heart by selling the ring. I said, "Sir, your daughter broke my heart by cheating." He said, "She told us it was just one kiss." One kiss. Brother, it was 3 months of kisses. Whole ass seasons of kisses. He hung up on me. Then the friend drama escalated. One of our mutual friends, let's call her Amanda, texted me to say that my ex had been going around telling people I cheated on her. Yes, you read that right. The cheater has become the cheated on. Apparently, her version of events is that I was talking to girls on Tinder. I literally downloaded it after the breakup, and that she acted out because she felt neglected. So now, half our friend group thinks I was some secret player. which is laughable, considering I'm the kind of guy who eats leftover pizza over the sink and considers flossing self-care. And then came the public scene. I went out with my friends to a bar, first time in weeks. I was actually starting to feel a little normal again. Ordered a beer, played some darts, laughed without feeling like I was dying inside. Guess who walked in? Yep, my ex. With Chris. The audacity. They walked in holding hands like a budget prom king and queen, and the entire bar went quiet. My friends immediately stiffened up like they were about to throw hands, but I just stood there, frozen, clutching my beer like it was a life raft. She spotted me, and instead of ignoring me like a normal person, she marched over, left Chris standing there like a lost golden retriever, and she hugged me, in front of everyone, just wrapped her arms around me and said, "I miss you." The bar gasped. Literally gasped. I pushed her off and said, "Are you kidding me right now?" She said, "You'll always be the love of my life," while her new man was standing 10 feet away. Chris looked like someone just told him Santa wasn't real. I told her she needed to back off. She started crying, screaming, saying I was throwing away destiny. At that point, the bartender kicked her and Chris out because apparently my love life had turned into Jerry Springer Live. After that, I finally blocked her everywhere. Phone, socials, email, even LinkedIn. Yes, she once messaged me on LinkedIn. Said, "Hope you're doing well professionally," while also trying to get me back romantically. The girl is unhinged. But then she pulled the last card she had, mutual friends. People started texting me saying she was worried about me, that I was isolating myself, that I wasn't eating. Excuse me, I'm eating plenty. Mostly pizza rolls and Ben & Jerry's, but eating nonetheless. Turns out she'd been telling people she was concerned for my mental health, so that she looked like the caring ex, and I looked like the sad, unstable loser. Which, okay, fair, I am sad. But unstable, no. Unless you count crying in my car to Adele, in which case, maybe. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I tried to cut ties. I sold the ring. She crashed my job, sixed her parents on me, told everyone I cheated, caused a scene in a bar, and is now running a sympathy campaign using my mental health as a prop. At this point, I don't even feel like I'm living my own life. I feel like I'm trapped in some CW teen drama that never got canceled. I just want peace. A quiet night without texts, without Facebook posts, without seeing her face plastered on my feed. I just want to move on. But knowing her, this isn't the end. This is just halftime. Remember how in part 5 I said selling the ring and blocking her would be the end of it? Yeah, turns out I was living in a Disney fantasy because this girl is relentless. If this were a movie, this would be the point where the audience starts yelling at the screen, "Bro, just move states. It started with my job." Again. A week after the bar fiasco, I was sitting at my desk, fixing some guy's printer, because apparently IT is 90% printer drama, when HR emailed me, "We need to talk about a complaint." My heart dropped. For a second, I thought maybe Chris had somehow filed something against me. Nope. It was my ex. She had emailed my company's HR department to say she was concerned about me, and that she was afraid I might hurt myself. HR sat me down, gave me the "we care about your well-being" talk, asked if I needed time off. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there trying to explain that my ex is just clinically allergic to letting go. Do you know how embarrassing it is to assure your boss you're not suicidal? You're just sad because your girlfriend left you for a man who probably has a separate Instagram for his golden retriever. But that wasn't even the worst part. 2 nights later, she showed up at my parents' house. Yep. Drove across town, knocked on their door, and gave my mom this big, dramatic speech about how she just wants her family back. My mom, bless her, actually let her in. Sat her down. Made tea. Because my mom thinks tea fixes adultery, apparently. When I got there, she was on the couch crying, holding one of our old photo albums that my mom had pulled out like we were in some 90s sitcom. She looked up at me with these big watery eyes and said, "I know I messed up, but you're my person." And I just lost it. I said, "Your person? Really? Is that what you call the guy you lied to for 3 months while dating Chris on the side?" She started sobbing harder. My mom glared at me like I was the asshole for raising my voice. I told her she needed to leave, that she couldn't just waltz into my parents' house like nothing happened. She stood up, slammed the photo album shut, and yelled, "You'll regret this," before storming out. My mom looked at me and said, "She's hurting too, you know." Yeah, well, she should have thought about that before she went on a Patagonia-sponsored field trip with Chris. Here's where it gets really wild. Chris messaged me again. Not an apology this time. Not a bro, my bad, no. A full-on confession. He said, and I quote, "I didn't know she was still with you. She told me you guys were basically done, that you were just roommates, and she wanted to move on. I found out the truth later, but by then, I was into deep, excuse me. So not only was she cheating, she was lying to him too. She played us both like some kind of discount Netflix thriller. And the kicker, he told me he's done. That he blocked her. That he's moving on, which means she got dumped out by him. I almost felt bad for her for 0.2 seconds. Until I remembered she turned my breakup into a Facebook TED Talk. But the real breaking point came at my cousin's wedding. Because, of course, my life is cursed enough that my ex was invited. Mutual family friends, long history, yada yada. I thought maybe she'd avoid me. Wrong. Halfway through the reception, she got up during the toasts. The maid of honor had just finished, everyone was clinking glasses, and my ex stood up. With a microphone. She said, "I just want to say something." Oh no. She launched into this whole speech about how love is complicated and how sometimes we make mistakes, but true love always finds its way back. The room went dead silent. People were side-eyeing me like I was about to explode. My cousin looked like he wanted to strangle her with his tie. And then she looked right at me, in front of everyone, and said, "I still love you. I always will, folks." I swear to God, I blacked out for a second. When I came to, I was standing up, microphone in hand, saying, "You don't get to hijack my cousin's wedding to rewrite history. You cheated. For 3 months. With Chris, who, by the way, just dumped you. So please, for the love of God, sit down and stop embarrassing yourself." Gasps, laughter. Someone clapped. She burst into tears and ran out. Again. Always with the running. After that, radio silence. No text. No calls. No surprise visits. No Facebook novels. It's like she finally realized the campaign was dead. Maybe Chris dumping her broke whatever delusion she was clinging to. But here's the thing, even in the silence, I feel haunted. Like she's gonna pop up in my hallway one night holding cookies and saying, "We can fix this." I keep expecting another stunt. Another meltdown. Another "you'll regret this." And maybe I will. Maybe I'll regret losing 11 years with someone who used to be my best friend. But I think I'd regret more if I let myself keep being her backup plan. So yeah, that's the breaking point. She showed up at my job, my parents' house, and my cousin's wedding. Chris dumped her. She finally went quiet. And for the first time in months, I feel like maybe I can breathe again. I don't know what comes next. Therapy, probably. A lot of it. Maybe moving states. Definitely blocking anyone with the name Chris on site. But one thing's for sure, I'm not going back. Not after all this. It's been 6 months since the whole meltdown. 6 months since I sold the ring, since Chris dumped her, since she hijacked my cousin's wedding like it was an open mic night for failed relationships. And for the first time in a long time, I think I'm actually okay. Let's start with her, because I know that's what everyone's gonna ask about. The short version. She moved away. Apparently, after the wedding fiasco and Chris bailing, she packed up and left town. I heard through mutual friends, because gossip travels faster than Wi-Fi, that she's starting fresh in another state. No, I don't know if Chris is with her. No, I don't care. Do I sometimes stalk her socials? Yeah. I'm human. But she's gone private now. Probably tired of people watching the train wreck. The last post I saw before she locked down her accounts was a blurry sunset selfie with the caption, "Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself again." Cool. Hope she finds herself. Preferably far, far away from me. As for me, I've been doing the cliche healing arc. Therapy, gym, journaling, pretending to care about kale. You know, the basics. Therapy, though, actually a game changer. My therapist didn't sugarcoat it. She straight up told me, "You were in a codependent relationship. You made her your whole identity." At first, I was like, wow, thanks, love that for me. But she's right. I was so wrapped up in being us that I forgot how to just be me. So now I'm relearning. Figuring out what I actually like, what I actually want. Turns out, I enjoy painting. Badly, but still. I've been hiking with my friends. No, not Chris-style hikes. I'm talking sweating profusely and complaining the whole way hikes. I even signed up for a cooking class because I never want spaghetti to be a trigger word again. And yes, I started dating again. Nothing serious yet, but I've gone on a few dates. The first one was a disaster. She talked about her ex for straight hours. Ironic, I know. But the second one, pretty good. We went axe throwing. I didn't accidentally chop my foot off, so I'm counting it as a win. I don't know if I'm ready for anything serious. Honestly, it feels kind of nice not to be. To just exist without the weight of forever on my back. The ring money? I put it into a petty savings account. It's just my normal savings account, but every time I look at the balance, I think, this is my cheating compensation fund. I'm planning to blow it on something ridiculous. Maybe a solo trip to Europe. Maybe a gaming PC. Maybe therapy forever. Point is, the ring didn't go to waste. My family? Still weird about it. My mom occasionally says things like, she was young, people make mistakes. I tell her, Mom, people make mistakes like burning toast, not dating Chris for 3 months. She sighs and drops it. My dad, on the other hand, just calls her Voldemort now. So we're coping differently. As for her family, radio silence. Her mom unfriended me on Facebook. Her brother unfollowed me on Instagram. Fine by me. 11 years of being like a son down the drain, but hey, they raised her, so maybe I should have seen the red flag sooner. The funniest part of all of this, our mutual friends, the ones who told me I overreacted, yeah, they've slowly been crawling back. Sliding into my DMs like, hey man, just wanted to check in. We were wrong. She really lost it. One of them even admitted, honestly, we didn't believe you at first. She was so convincing. Convincing? Of what? That I magically Tinder cheated while simultaneously crying in my Corolla to Adele, please. But whatever. I'm not holding grudges. I've got bigger things to do, like try not to kill basil plants on my windowsill. Here's the truth, I still think about her. Not every day anymore, but sometimes. Little things. A song we used to play on road trips. A street we walked down 100 times. The smell of that stupid perfume she wore. For 11 years, she was my best friend. My everything. You don't just shut that off overnight. But the pain is duller now. Less like a knife, more like an old bruise. And sometimes, when I think of her, I don't feel sad anymore. I just shake my head and laugh. Because really, if you'd told 16-year-old me that my high school sweetheart would someday hijack a wedding toast to declare her love after cheating with a dude named Chris, he would have said, no way. She's different, but she wasn't. And that's okay. So yeah, that's my final update. I was about to propose to the girl I thought I'd marry. Instead, I caught her cheating. Got dragged through months of chaos and somehow came out the other side, alive. Slightly traumatized, but still standing. I don't know if I believe in soulmates anymore, but I do believe in myself. Now, and that feels like enough. If you like these stories and videos, make sure to like, comment, and share so we can make some money from ad revenue and continue getting better. And better with our publications. We strive to donate a portion of everything we make to charities that make a difference. Let us know if there is someone or thing you want to support. Thank you for staying until the end and enjoying the story.